Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dudes on Twitch. Back today with Green Black Maverick. So definitely my favorite version of Maverick. This is a build that is playing a new card that I've picked up on since Connor, aka Lomaboy, has been playing it, which is Gaea Orzhov Usurper. Gaea is a pretty sweet 3-mana walker. She has the ability to really cause some issues for cards like Dreadhorde Arcanist. You can get rid of some things that Oko can manipulate, like food and astrolabes, which is pretty sweet. And in the mirror, it can also deal with things like some of the fast mana aggression in Noble Hierarch, Birds of Paradise, hitting Mother of Runes, Aether Vial. There's a lot of really cool synergies with this card against some of the decks we want to be playing her against. And yesterday on the Leaving a Legacy, a huge thank you to the guys, at the Legacy Pit. Playing on the Legacy Pit, I got to play Gaea, and we actually got to ulti her a few times for the win, which is very cool. I was playing Ashiok, the 3-drop that exiles graveyards, and him and Gaea together was pretty nuts, which is pretty fun. Not playing Ashiok tonight. I found that it was a little bit hard to make sure I always had the mana to cast Ashiok, but Gaea I think is really nice. The ability to exile something like a Chalice as well is really good, and also 6 on the board, which is great. Gaea is also a great way to deal with Uro, because usually it's in the bin for a turn. It's not like it's going to the bin and then coming back, and by that time, you've probably hopefully already got a string in the game. But Gaea's been really nice. So I'm playing one Gaea main deck, one Gaea sideboard. And then Vraska's also in the main deck. Vraska's a card that I really like. I think Vraska's probably the best answer that we have for Oko, because you're not going down on a card. Vraska can deal with Oko and then stick around, which is really nice. And especially with the +2 as well, you're not going to lose her to too many creatures once you start get going on the tick up. So it's a rare case you're going to tick down on Oko, then lose it to an Icewind Quaddle or a Baleful Strix or something similar. Usually you have something to allow it to come around, which is nice. Yeah, Ouphe's really nice. I feel like Ouphe in the main deck has kind of taken the position that Gaddock Teeg once had as the silver bullet that you want against combo. A lot of the decks right now are relying on things like LED, Lotus Petal, and even turning off some of the decks that run Grim Monolith or Aether Vial is really nice as well. This is also a deck that's not running the Stoneforge Mystic package, so against the opposing Umezawa's Jidays, that's pretty good. It doesn't stop Batterskull other than the equip, but I think it's pretty good right now. It's also a lot easier to cast, and it's also not legendary. So in some circumstances where it is just a vanilla 2/2, your opponent can't deal with it just by Karakasing it each turn, which is kind of nice. The rest of the deck is pretty normal. I have cut down on I've actually gone back up to 4 mums. I think mum's really good right now, especially in a meta that's probably filled with Okos and Dreadhorde Arcanists. I think it's pretty important to have some sort of leverage on the field, and I think mum's pretty good at that. To the sideboard, combo Deafening Silence and Grafdigger's Cage for Graveyard, Surgical, Bojuka Bog, and Gaea. Bog's a card that I've always felt was a bit too slow for Graveyard hate. I think against a lot of the decks where you want it, you kind of want it on turn 1 and 2. Things like Reanimator and Dredge, but I think just increasing the power of Night of the Reliquary is really important as well. And I think being able to find it ASAP is really good. I was playing Tormod's Crypt, but I think having Bog as a tutor target is still okay. A lot of the Reanimator decks are now playing the big new companion, which I forget its name. I think it's Gyruda, which doesn't really... Bog doesn't really do anything because it all happens within the triggered ability. So Bog against the current Reanimator decks isn't that great. But I think it's still great to have against the other Night decks, against the Loam decks. There's also like some little synergies, like if you have a Bog on the field and you want to use it again, you can Wasteland your own Bog and then use Ramunap to play it from the bin to get an extra ETB trigger on the Bojuka Bog, which is kind of cool. To the third pile, Veil's a card that I know a lot of Maverick pilots don't really like in Maverick, which is definitely more than fine. I think it's not a card that I always have the mana open to leave up, which is kind of rough because I feel like this is the deck where you want to leave it open. Maybe like casting a Knight a turn later just to get the Veil open as well, so the Knight can be countered or Abrupt Decay or Fatal Pushed. But Veil, I think it's a little bit too good not to have in the deck. There's so many decks that fold to it. There's so many, times where you might get hit by something like Hand Disruption, and then, Veil just completely turns the tides, where they're down a card, you're now up a card, you have protection from other sort of Hand Disrupt on that turn, so Veil's pretty nice. Reclamation's really nice. I think Reclamation in Maverick is probably best in Bant, where you're running maybe Oko or Teferi as well, but Reclamation has been really good as like a grindy card. There's not too many decks that can really deal with it, which is really nice. And especially in this version, we can get back Gaea if needed. So it's really nice to actually be able to get back a Planeswalker with Sevinne's Reclamation. So I think if I wasn't running a 3-mana Walker, I probably wouldn't be running it. But I think it's really good value. You could be running something like Renegade Rallier if you wanted a Green Suns target that kind of does the same thing. But I think the Reclamation's fine. Shifting Ceratops is really just because of all the Delver around. And a lot of the Oko decks. Pro Blue is actually really nice. So obviously Oko, Icewind Quaddle, Baleful Strix, it can't be countered. It can't be blocked by things like Uro. It's also a 5/4 with Reach, so it can just block Delver and kill it, which is nice. I think that it's a shame that Questing Beast kind of came out at the same time, because Questing Beast has just seen so much play. And to be fair, so is Shifting Ceratops, but I think that Shifting Ceratops kind of got the short end of the stick in that regard. I think that Shifting Ceratops is a lot better than the amount of play it actually sees. 2 Engineer for the creature matchups, and then a Deed. I was tossing and turning about this. I was going to play a 3rd Plague Engineer. I was going to play a Tabernacle, which is kind of nice, against some of the go wide strategies like Young Pyromancer. But I decided to go Deed. I want to try it out against some of these Urion decks where they have a bunch of Abundant Growths and Deeds and food tokens. And I think against those decks, I can probably take out cards like Cradle because I'm probably not going to be going wide. And so Deed's going to get a whole lot better where I'm going to be trading, probably the Deed for at least 2 cards, which is kind of nice. It is rough because with the Abundant Growths and the Astrolabes, they do of course draw cards off them, so they replace them as they come in. So the Deed kind of has to deal with something else to be able to be tradable on a card for card basis. So maybe if you took out even Icewind Quaddle replaces itself as well. So against those decks, I just wanted something that dealt with more than one card, and I think Deed's kind of my way to keep up with everything and make sure that I'm not going behind in just the card advantage engine. So Deed's going to be interesting. It's kind of a no-bo in a deck with so many permanents and creatures, but I think in the matchups where I want it, it's going to be fine. And it's going to be great. So that should be it. We'll see how this goes. I'll definitely update my score quickly because we are not playing full color Urion. We're playing Greenback Maverick. Current score is 0-0. Alright. Nice. Nice to have you guys in. For anyone in Australia, it is bloody cold right now. So we are playing a Legacy League with 100 play points and Greenback Maverick post Lurrus. Nice. Yeah, really cold here. Got a jumper on. Got a coffee on the way, which is really nice. Thank you, Adrian. But yeah, I think Maverick's in a decent position. Obviously, with Lurrus gone, it's a lot better. Lurrus just gave the decks that Lurrus was played in so much advantage in being able to use their graveyard so much. I did like seeing Maverick players pivot towards how to attack Lurrus and other companions. Whether that was doubling up on main deck Ooze, whether that was doubling up on main deck Collector Ouphe because of all the baubles and Lotus Petals running around. I think, Green Suns allows Maverick to really shine when it comes to innovation and looking at what you want to change to hit the right meta. Alright. We have our first match. Pixel Tamer. This end is sweet. Keep this. Nice. Wasteland and Swords as interaction. We have some mana. Waterlog Grove, Aether Vial. Interesting. Waterlog Grove, Aether Vial. I probably don't want to fall behind. Hey, Ernby, welcome. This could be Merfolk. It could be some sort of like 3-color humans kind of deck. The one that plays like Soul Herder. I'm not sure what their mana base is. I like going with the forest here because they have to have removal, or else Wasteland doesn't keep us off a mana as well, which is nice. The Cavern hopefully here gives away a little bit. It is Merfolk. Okay. Interesting. Merfolk's always pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to see what the green actually gives them. Dryad Arbor. So I feel like I want to Wasteland them off the Waterlog Grove, just to keep them off from going too wide too early. Especially with the first draw being a land for us. I do want to slow this game down a bit, but this Vial is going to get out of hand pretty fast. So at least with the Vial, once it ticks up, it can't be ticked down, which is nice. So I think because we have Swords and Wasteland, I'm pretty happy just to Wasteland here and then keep developing my mana for Vraska later on. I'm just going to do this in my turn because I don't want to play around any sort of shenanigans. I assume this version might be playing Days. Yeah, the only reason I liked Waste was that that's a land that's going to probably draw them into a spell later on. So I want to hit it while it's tapped out. And although Vial is out, which is rough, I was kind of hoping I could get to a stage where they just maybe have to rely on Vial to get threats out instead of both ways through both their mana and otherwise. Okay, well, Gaea is pretty nice here. Doesn't play around Days, but we'll see what happens. Alright. Hit that Vial. Oof. Okay, that's massive for them not to have a 2-drop as well. I'm going to assume that True Name is their 3-drop. Okay. Okay, well that's not too bad, because we do have Vraska here. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Yeah, Gaea's been pretty insane. We've only played a few matches with it, but I've really enjoyed it. So here I don't think we can really do anything. There's probably no reason to use Gaea first. Because if Vraska doesn't resolve, I probably want to use Gaea to get rid of the food. They didn't have removal. Oof, okay. And this is exactly why I love Vraska. I'm also going to take out the food just in case my opponent has another Oko and can make this food a 3/3. But yeah, now like we've dealt with an Oko and we still have a Vraska around, which is just pretty insane. We're also, you know, we've definitely drawn a few lands, so we do have a few lands to just throw away to Vraska's ability as well, which is kind of nice. Green Suns. So Questing Beast isn't the greatest because of Karakas. Vraska's nice. I think they might just have nothing. Unfortunately for them. I don't think they'd play Collector Company, but I could be wrong there. Wonder if that makes me want to do anything differently. Ramunap is pretty good here. Metzol, welcome. Ramunap is pretty good. That is a really nice pickup. But yeah, I mean, Gaea dealing with Vile, Vraska dealing with Oko, like, pretty perfect. I'm going to assume the Karakas is only for... Like, if I was scared of something like Swords to Plowshares off the top of their deck, I'd probably deal with the Karakas here, but maybe it's the Trop, because it keeps them off another Oko. Which, to be fair, on this board, I'm not too afraid of, but... I think I'd also rather... I guess I'm gonna deal with the Karakas, because if the Ramunap goes and I can only deal with one of these lands, I probably just want to have this Thalia online as a 2/1 first strike. So I'm going to go with Karakas. I'm pretty happy to sack as well. I'm going to sack the Forest. If they want to Wasteland me, that's fine. And a Swords is a great pickup. Ramunap's really nice. Something with Flash. Merfolk Trickster. Okay. Well, that's going to deal with the Gaea. Or maybe deal with the Vraska. Interesting. I guess we'll see what happens here. Just gonna 6, to be honest. That's not too bad because, I mean, Vraska's dealt with Oko and it's also drawn us a card, which is pretty great. Okay, well, we do have mana for all of that, which is nice. So let's go Wasteland. Hit the Trop. Swords the Master. Tick up on Flutterstrand and Karakas. I guess I didn't have to attack with Ramunap. Maybe that's a little bit light because if they play another Lord and make the Merfolk Trickster a 3/3 to attack with, I could have blocked with Ramunap and then Abrupt Decayed the Lord, which kills the Merfolk Trickster and keeps us around. I mean, Decay on Trickster isn't the greatest. I probably want to keep it around for a Lord, but see what happens here. This is actually fine. If it's not lethal, then that's more than fine. Chelsea one is fine. That's probably a great target for Abrupt Decay. Opponent has one card left. Sylvan Library. Definitely going to play Wasteland. Hit their cavern. Teacup exiling these two. Probably pretty happy just to play the Sylvan Library here. It does mean if they have a Lord, then we either lose the Gaea or the Ramunap, but I think that's fine. Yeah, Ramunap was huge this game, and like a late game Vial isn't the worst, isn't the best here. This also means they don't have a Lord. They can't attack into the Gaea. The Gaea is going to deal with the Vial, so... We're also at 21, so we can use the Sylvan Library pretty aggressively. The only thing we have to kind of take into consideration is a big true name. So I'm going to put back... I think both of these... I could pay 4, but I think just because of Ramunap, I don't really care about the Savannah. I'd rather use the mana later on to draw into things that I actually really want. And I am going to attack here. If they try to deal with the Thalia, we do have Swords to Plowshares, which is nice. Just to keep this Gaea active. We also want to fetch before our draw step as well. But luckily we just had a really nice draw. I'm going to draw a card with Waterlogged Grove, okay. Do I want to Swords this Merfolk Trickster just to get it out of the way? I don't think so, just because my attackers line up so well as a 2/1 first strike and a 2/3 body. Yeah, it's very true. I think that Gaea has definitely done her work, and now anything on top of this is just kind of extra value. Verdant's nice. Okay. Put on top. If we're playing Wasteland, to be fair, I probably just want to pay for these. I'm going to get Wasteland. I'm going to attack with both. I'm going to return Thalia. And replay her. Tick up on these two. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, I wonder if my opponent thinks they have some sort of out. Like maybe they have a card that they're playing that could deal with multiple threats. But there's definitely a consideration for your clock as well. So Merfolk's going to be interesting. I do like Deed. I like Gaea. I do like the second Gaea just because we kind of want to see it as soon as possible. And then probably just Plagues. Shifting Ceratops seems pretty great as well. I don't mind dropping the Thalias. Ouphe still seems great against Vial. Ramunap still seems great. Blastfern actually seems really good. Maybe there's not too many cards that I actually want to bring in. Maybe this is kind of overcompensating. Maybe I don't need the other Gaea, especially if we're bringing in Deed. I think it might just be a case of not actually wanting maybe the second library. Yeah, Veil's interesting. Veil means our stuff can't be countered. It can't be hit by Oko. But I think we can kind of deal with the board in a separate way. Teeg is a main deck. Teeg's in the sideboard, which is kind of sad, but I just didn't have a real good reason to put him in the main deck right now. Yeah, I'm a big fan of playing the Ouphe. Some decks do play them side by side, which is great, but when I added in the decays and the extra planeswalkers, I just couldn't find a spot for Teeg, unfortunately. It might just be a Green Suns because I don't have one thing that I want to get to straight away. It might actually just be second library. They can be pretty aggressive. So maybe I'd rather the Green Suns. Because to be fair, if they start on Vile and I go turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Green Suns for Collector Ouphe, I probably want to have that option as much as possible. I'm going to see how this goes. I think this is fine. If I see any 1-drop Merfolk, then I might think about the second Gaea on the play. But this hand is pretty sweet. We'll keep this. Yeah, sadly, Teeg's just fallen off. I feel like a lot of the combo decks can now go under him. And a lot of the decks where, you know, you're stopping, you know, Terminus, Supreme Verdict, and Jace, you're now not able to stop things like, you know, Abrupt Decay and Oko and Teferi and Dead of Winter. If I draw a Wasteland here, I'm pretty happy just to Wasteland. We don't draw a Wasteland, so I'm going to lead on the Scrubland, which holds up Swords to Plowshares. Could also just lead on Bayou. I don't think they'll Wasteland me. They're probably looking to play a 2-drop, so... Hey, Decent, thanks for the host. It's really nice. I'm just gonna go with Bayou Pass. I probably want to keep the swords for a little while, and I'm happy to play around something like Island Days next turn. Double Cavern, okay. Let me know where you're from, Decent. Hey, Eli, welcome. Hope you're well. Currently playing against Merfolk, your humble friends in the tribal world. So this sword is really going to be for a Lord because of the Plague Engineer. Kai is really nice here as well. I apologize. I do apologize. I just need it. I need it. I need it so bad. Have you tried Plague Engineer in Black Goblins? Lord. Okay. That's gonna be fine. I might as well do this now before they, just to save 1 damage, to see if I can land this swords. I mean, if they force this, I'm still pretty happy, because we can go Plague Engineer into Vraska, deal with the Lord. Swords. I think because they're on green, they're not running back to basics, so there's no reason to consider why I would fetch here for a basic forest, so that I could untap with Abrupt Decay mana even if they play back to basics. I'm pretty happy just to probably play Karakas as a second white source. Yeah, non-black creature spells, that's very true. You kind of have to rely on things like Aether Vial. What land do I want to play? I probably want to keep the Verdant just in case we draw into Sylvan Library and just see, like, you know, cards we don't really want. So I'm just going to go for Plague Engineer off the second Bayou. I can, like, all black mana from my lands. That is something that never really happens. Force. Okay. Pitching a Master, which is kind of nice. It kind of deals with the same thing. Just going to 6 here. Another Lord. Okay. They're down to 1 card as well, so... looking pretty good. Green Suns. Okay. So I can slam the Vraska, deal with a Lord, then lose it. I can play Gaea, but then I lose it. So I don't mind here just fetching for a forest. And going for Knight. I think Knight as a 3/3 is fine. Scryb Ranger is also pretty funny because it is pro blue. Maybe I could have done like Scryb Ranger and also just hold up Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, I think it definitely seems pretty hard to lose from here. It's probably something like True Name and then just protect it with Lords. I'm going to take this. Okay, no follow-up is really nice. Mum's pretty sweet. So here's Frasco. They have 2 cards left. Force of Negation. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm pretty happy to play the Mum. And just pass back. There's no reason to Wasteland them here. I'm pretty happy just to keep the Knight up for blocks, and then probably Wasteland either in blockers or in attack step. Oh, in their end step. What is the last relevant printing? I'm going to say Merfolk Trickster, if you can call that relevant. Interesting. They're going to attack. Well, we're going to block. Sack this. Get away. Oh, Blast Zone's pretty nice. Blast Zone's a little bit slow. I'm just going to wait for end of combat to Wasteland. Just in case of some sort of pump shenanigans. But no follow-up. Wow, okay. Rough. Well, now I think I just want to deal with their board and also start attacking their mana. Okay. Well, I guess if I knighted first, I could have played around this, but losing the Gaea isn't the worst. It does mean we don't lose the swords, which is kind of nice. So what am I going to do here? Ah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to Wasteland the Cavernous Souls and then leave open Windswept Heath for Dryad Arbor. So if they try to attack with the Lord for some reason, we can block with the Dryad Arbor and Mum and just protect the Mum. The Dryad Arbor dying will also pump the Knight, so... I only have 1 card left. Oh, I have to say that it's definitely a hard deck to navigate in this sort of meta, Merfolk. No attacks, okay. I'm just going to Swords here, because we have a 2-turn clock with the Knight. We can also get Dryad Arbor here. Wasteland's pretty nice. So I can just make this a 2-turn clock. Or pretty close to it. Swing for 9. Yeah. Put him down to 12 and then just have lethal on board the following turn. It doesn't mean we attack with Mum, but they only have 1 card left, so we'll see how they play out this next turn. I could just draw into another Wasteland. A fetch land also pretty much does it. Alright. I definitely feel Maverick's favored. It's a pretty big uphill battle for Merfolk, unless they do something like turn 1 Vial, turn 2 Lord, turn 2 Vial, Lord, turn 3 True Name or something. Abzan in this economy? I know, right? Well, if the economy is Merfolk, then I'm pretty happy with Abzan, but otherwise... Yeah, opponent didn't read Knight, what year is it? Yeah, interesting attack, especially because they didn't really have anything. Like not even like a there isn't a flash creature, but I thought they might have been trying to somehow like get Dismember online, but playing around stuff. Yeah. Yeah, they really do have some hands. I mean, even like a start with like a fast Chalice, and then play a bunch of Lords. If I'm relying on Plague Engineer to answer their Merfolk, and all their Merfolk are bigger than X1s, then it's going to be a pretty tough time. I'm probably going to end up just trading the Plague Engineer with a big, like, Silvergill Adept, which isn't really where I want to be. Good coffee. Especially without Stoneforge, that's very correct. Yeah, I had a local Merfolk player a while ago play a Grip of something. I believe it's like a 3-mana flash enchantment that it can target like a permanent artifact and it gives it a germ. What's it called? MTG. Grip of Pheresis. That's it. Grip of Pheresis. Now that is a card. There we go. On the play, we will play no, unfortunately. I would love to, but yeah, I'm gonna mulligan this. This is okay. I'm gonna keep this. My point. Okay, Garuda. Okay, well that's pretty rough. I should have looked at that first. Does Garuda have flying? No. So I guess we lead on Mum here. I guess there's also some reason to lead on Noble Hierarch because of draw of Green Sun, Zenith, and Collector Ouphe is pretty good against a deck that relies on LED pretty heavily. Yeah, think about my board. I'm gonna drop the Mum. And I think just because of the out of, if we're going to try to win this game, it's probably Noble into Green Suns. Tough though. I might even be able to show that I'm not on black this game. It's probably going to be pretty quick, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to say we die pretty well. Maybe there's a chance. They went to 5. Okay. We can hope they don't have it. Okay. Oh, what? Okay. Green Suns. Wasteland. Oh, is Wasteland good enough? Wasteland's pretty nice.
It's free real estate.
It is free real estate. Okay. What are you wanting to do? This also means we can still cast Vraska next turn, which is pretty cool. May as well waste Big Dog. Love it. Opponent up to 6 cards. Oh, and just a pass. Wow. Ooh. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. Let's go with Thalia. And then attack with probably Mum. Not looking too bad. I think just because they probably can't have removal for Mum this turn because of Thalia. So I don't mind getting in the extra damage with Mother of Runes. This position does look pretty good. I'm not lying. Especially my opponent's missed a land drop. It's pretty huge. I believe these decks usually play Ouphe, okay. So I guess a land drop for us is going to be pretty good because then we can cast the Vraska. Oh. Nice. Yes, very cool. Okay, well that's nice. That is very nice. Abrupt Decays are too slow. Ramunap's probably too slow. Let me quickly have a look. Let's. It's not even in here, surely. I actually assume that this is going to be maybe like Bob Huang's list. It does play Tundra. Okay. I guess Kai's not the worst because it is Graveyard Hate. Let's just have a look at what we probably want. We definitely want Deafening Silence, which is a pretty easy switch out. Scooze and Collector Ouphe. Qasali Pridemage seems fine, especially if they're playing Chalice as well. Bog seems okay. Bog is probably better than Blast Zone. Bog and Surgical. Yeah, Surgical's pretty nice as well in case they like LED their hand and then we can Surgical out a card that we really don't want them to actually cycle into with their ETB effect of their companion. I don't mind Mum, but I could be. I think Vraska is probably too slow and not really what we want to be doing. Questing Beast as well is probably a little bit too slow. This seems pretty good. Teeg doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, I think this is gonna be fine. It's interesting because they might have Ratchet Bomb in the sideboard, which of course Collector Ouphe just deals with really nicely. So I don't think there's no reason for Veil, correct? I guess it means that they can't like Phyrexian Metamorph or Image one of our creatures. Is that correct? Maybe not. I don't think it works for Image, but I think it works for Metamorph. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it goes okay. Clones don't target? Okay. It just may enter the battlefield as a copy of. Okay. Decent, thank you for that. This is a nice hand, but I think in this sort of economy, for lack of a better word, this isn't the hand that I want against this deck. So I'm going to mulligan this. I want to find Deafening Silence. If I plow the first one, it whiffs, correct. So at least this hand does have a little bit. It has Swords and Surgical, which, you know, if they start with a Chalice, it's pretty rough. But we also have Wasteland, which is kind of nice. I think this hand is okay. It at least has a bit of a plan as well. Oh, Scryb Ranger, fun fact. If you target their Phantasmal Images with Scryb Ranger as the creature to untap, it kills the Phantasmal Images, which is pretty hilarious. So any of their creatures that when they're targeted, they're sacked, Scryb Ranger is actually fantastic. I'm going to keep this. And I'm probably going to bottom the Wasteland. Where can you get the list? You should be able to see it on the screen. So you should be able to see some backs of cards. And that is the Cardboard Live function. Hopefully. Yeah, so if you look over this, here you go, you can then pull out the deck list here. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's probably greedy to keep the Scryb Ranger. I think it's between Scryb Ranger and Wasteland. I think just because... It's gonna be Scryb. It's gotta be Scryb. Because if they lead on like a Soul Land and pass, or Soul Land into Chalice, I probably just want to hit it with an Ancient Tomb. With a Wasteland, sorry. I think Thalia is okay, but you know she's coming down on turn 3, which is pretty rough because it really only hits their artifact mana. If anything, with this hand, Thalia is a burden. There's a city. There's Grim. Okay. I guess now they just need like one LED or Petal. Wow, okay. So Dax Duplicate, Haste and Dethrone, and Spark Double enters with an additional. I probably just want to take out the Dax duplicates in the deck. I probably don't want them hitting one, so I don't mind Surgical there. Now we can actually see how they board it as well, which is kind of nice. Chalice. They didn't really board, to be fair. They kind of just kept the same deck and said, hey, they got Powder Keg. Okay. So we'll take this one, take this one, take this one. Sai is pretty annoying. Let's see what they hit. They hit Resto. So they do get another go. Open up that bin. Miss. They missed. Okay. Oh, wait, what? Did they not? Oh, they got our Thalia. Classic. It's actually pretty good because it turns off our Scrubland. Our Swords Plowshares for now. I think we're just dead, unfortunately. Because we take 11, go to 7. Oh, we're not dead, but it's very close. Hey, Grizzle Brandon, welcome. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming into the Legacy Pit stream yesterday. Very cool to see you. Taking Thalia is a nice heads-up play from my opponent. Yeah, yesterday was sweet. Those guys are really nice at Legacy Pit. So if anyone here is looking for some paper magic coverage, definitely check out the Legacy Pit. I guess we can play to some outs, but I'm not sure what that out actually is. To be fair, I probably should have shuffled because Scryb Ranger is my only blocker for the resto, and it buys me a turn. Yeah, Karakas would have been a great draw. I guess maybe like Scooze? Scooze is also an okay draw. Oh no, because now we're down to 2. Yeah, I think we're just dead to rights. Yeah. Alright. Do I want to change anything? I don't think I do. Yeah, I'm pretty happy just to run this back. Rough. But I think, yeah, on the play with Deafening Silence, we can hopefully, you know, have a little bit more time to set up. And although Deafening Silence is more of a speed bump than a win condition, it gives us the time to actually create a board state that our opponent hopefully cannot deal with. But yeah, this deck is pretty tough to play against. Unless it doesn't hit something, it's pretty hard to just fizzle. Yeah, Deed's pretty sweet. I was talking about Deed before with all the Urion decks running around. Ah, it's very cool. A huge congratulations to 5-0. That's pretty tough for goblins as well. Do you bring in Mindbreak? Do you play Mindbreak Trap, Eli? And if you do you bring it in against it? This is interesting. I guess Karakas is kind of nice. Is this hand good enough just because of the Karakas? Or not? Because in response to the Garuda trigger, we can return it to the hand. I think this is keepable just because of the Karakas, but also the Swords to Plowshares. So even if they are... So Karakas does answer Garuda, which allows us to stop all the copies, but it doesn't stop Sire of Insanity. But luckily, we do have the Swords to Plowshares for that. So I'm going to actually, yeah, go ahead and keep this. Why do we bought in Surgical? Really just to hit some of the creatures that go to the bin that we don't want to see flip to Garuda off LED. But yeah, I don't think Surgical is the greatest, because they probably don't even have a way to get them back from the graveyard. I don't believe they have anything. Yeah, it's very sketch. It's very sketch. It's more of a case of like maybe having something that's relevant over something that just isn't in the main deck. Yeah, we had a bit to take out. You know, maybe it is fair to maybe keep an Abrupt Decay on the play if we're wanting to target something like a Grim Monolith. Yeah, especially seeing Chromox here, I think that Decay would have been a lot better. Oof, is this just it? Wow, that is going to pass. Wasteland. Interesting. 3, 4, 5. They didn't go off on their turn. The only reason I don't like going for Wasteland here is I kind of want to get land, Green Suns for Collector Ouphe. Why wouldn't they go off on their turn? Maybe they don't have an answer to the Karakas. Okay. So what sort of answer could they have for the Karakas? That's a tough one. I'm not sure what they have. Yeah, I think the go is Windswept Heath here, and then just pass. But I'm not sure what their actual out is to Karakas, other than like just hard cast like Resto Angels and stuff. They could have a Needle. Cavern, okay. Demon. Oh, that is going to pass. Birds. Alright, we be fetching. I think we're, like, surely we're safe here just to go for Collector Ouphe. There's no reason why we can't tap out off this Karakas. The Surgicals aren't really supposed to be there. Bayou. Yeah, I don't think we get punished here for just playing out Green Suns. Other than like a Resto, which I don't really care about. I'd rather just get Collector Ouphe into play. I guess they could counter this. They're going to float too. It looks like they're keeping up Resto Angel. I really hope it's Resto Angel. Okay. I don't think I'm okay with allowing them to have petals while we have Collector Ouphe out. So I'm happy for them to draw into petals. Now the Green Suns. Again, I'm pretty happy just to tap out for Night here. Surgical their Tundra. Interesting. Interesting play. I wanted to Wasteland there to keep him off Thought Knots here. Okay. This is looking pretty good. I'm gonna get Scryb. I could have kept the Bayou in hand, to be fair as well. Nice. You're not sure how they went from there as well. Assuming that their removal is Powder Keg, which we saw through the Surgical. I'm not too sure. Luckily, our opponent just didn't go off turn 1. I guess they just didn't have an answer for the Karakas and tried to get there with Resto, but fortunate to get there, which is nice. Always nice to beat those decks as well. Obviously, Maverick's one of the fairer decks, so to hit one of the most unfair decks in the format right now, it's a good feeling to know that, you know, just because you're playing a fair deck doesn't mean you can't play up against some of the big boys of the format. Very cool. For the boys. Classic. Hey, Imperator Andreas Augustus. Welcome to Legacy. What have you been playing in Modern exclusively, if you're still there? Deck feels nice as well. The Kaias seem really nice. Been really impressed with Gaea, especially yesterday on the Legacy Pit. And then, yeah, today it's come up a few times. Dealing with a Vial was really nice. Did some Delver, but mostly black-white tokens. Interesting. I usually played Jund or Junk, and I actually found black-white tokens was a pretty bad matchup. Your ability to go wide and just make your tokens bigger than X1s was pretty good. Yeah. But sweet deck. What did you play, like 4-drops? Did you play like Sorin or Hero of Bladehold or any of that? Or did you kind of stick low to the ground? Sorin? Yeah, Sorin's sweet. Especially the +1/+0 and lifelink until your next turn which is very cool. I did like those cycle of planeswalkers where you get to keep the lifelink even in your opponent's turn. Up against Neurodynamic. This hand is interesting because we can Green Sun straight away for Dryad Arbor. But then we don't have a white source for Thalia or Mum. This is an interesting hand because the Thalia and Collector Ouphe are going to be really good against the unfair decks. The Mum and the Green Suns are probably going to get there against the fair decks. This is part 1 high on Mum. Yeah, that's fair enough. I do find it really interesting playing without Mum. I'm going to keep. I think just because we have so many white sources in the deck. And if we get really stuck, we can also just Green Suns next turn for a Noble Hierarch. What will our opponent play? Bayou into Green Suns might also act like we're elves, which is kind of nice. So if we're up against a fast combo deck, then that's going to be okay. What if it's like Eldrazi? Snow-covered forest. Interesting. Haha! Always lucky. I'm probably okay just for Thalia here, off of Savannah. If it is going to be an Astrolabe deck, I want to start taxing the Astrolabes as soon as possible. Narset. Okay. Interesting. I guess back to basics on this field would be really good. Just a pass. Interesting. They kept the one-lander. There's Knight. Can you do that MGS sound when they cast a snake? I can. I can also do Inception. Let's go Wasteland. Oh, Scryb Ranger is kind of nice on this field. I shouldn't have played the Wasteland then. If we Scryb Ranger... One... No, I've already played a land. Okay, let's just go for... In the rare case we're up against a Bolt deck, I'm going to play the Knight with the Wasteland up. I don't really want to Wasteland my own land just to make the Knight bigger than a 3/3, but I'd rather not lose the Knight to a Bolt when I can play around it pretty easily. Prismatic. Okay, well now they most likely have Icewind Quaddle up. Interesting. I guess Questing Beast is pretty good on this board, let's be fair. So let's go... Float a green. Sack this. Go get Cradle. Play Noble, it's free. Play Mum, it's free. 4/5. Green Suns for 4. Nice. Questing Beast. Attack for 5. Okay. So they pitched Narset. They don't have Urion, so I'm going to assume it's just like a snow bug control deck. So I probably want my Shifting Ceratops. I probably don't mind Pernicious Deed. I probably don't mind Gaea. Veil of Summer's interesting. I don't mind the Plague Engineer, just because I do like Plague as a way to answer snakes instead of Swords to Plowshares, which I believe I can probably take out nearly all of. I might just keep one in the deck as a way to deal with things like Urion in case I don't have Screws or Gaea. I might drop down to 2 Thalias. I don't mind Thalia, but I think having more in hand is pretty rough. Yeah, Mana Dorks is also a pretty nice place to trim as well. Because if they're playing Dead of Winter as well, I don't want to get too blown out by that. So I might even just cut down to 3. Teeg's interesting, but I don't think it really stops anything that I'm afraid of. It doesn't stop Dead of Winter, Oko, Teferi. I don't mind the Veils. Veils are interesting. If they're playing like Abrupt Decay, Fiddle Push, Oko, Teferi, I don't mind them. Maybe that's better than the other 2 Noble Hierarchs. Yeah, I also like Source Splashes versus Uro, but luckily we also have Gaea, and we also have Scavenging Ooze, which is nice. Gaea really nice as well, because even if we're not hitting Uro, we can just make sure they don't have a graveyard to escape with. Yeah, I like one of each. So Dryad Arbor, Noble, and Birds of Paradise to Green Suns for. I think that's pretty nice. And I also like kind of shifting to more Planeswalkers, so that we can have some sort of board presence that doesn't get hit by Dead of Winter, and also, you know, can be kind of awkward with Icewind Quaddle. I think this is probably okay. Oh, actually, Reclamation seems great. Reclamation seems really good. Probably a Wasteland I'm pretty happy to drop down on. Let's be honest, this is going to be a snow meta. Or at least a snow match. This is a pretty rough hand. Shifting Ceratops and Vraska, we have 2 lands. I don't really count Cradle here. And Wasteland's pretty dead. I think we can find a better 6. I'm going to mulligan this. This is it. I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to bottom the Collector Ouphe. I think I want my 3 lands, Noble and Gaea, just in case the Noble goes. I want to be able to cast the Gaea without having to draw into a land to cast it. Gaea also deals with Astrolabe, if they do have it. So the Collector Ouphe isn't as needed. Yeah, Gaea is really sweet. Very big fan. There's Astrolabe, okay. Mox Diamond. Interesting. Huh. Well, this Gaea is going to be really nice if it sticks. Kind of interesting as well, because the Astrolabe puts them up a card, the Mox Diamond puts them down a card, so they're kind of on equal ground right now. I think Mox Diamond is really nice in the Uro decks. They're just going to pass here. I wonder if they're holding up Force Negation. What are you doing, opponent? Yeah, so losing the Gaea is a little bit rough, just because of how good it is on this board. It deals with the Astrolabe, it deals with the Mox Diamond, it also just keeps their graveyard at bay. But I think because he drew the Vraska, we kind of have like a 1-2 punch over the next 2 turns. So I don't mind throwing the Gaea into something. I don't know if it's worth just playing out the Skoos here. That's also something that we could do. 3 mana is always ominous. I think the Skoos only gets better as we play on. So I'm actually just going to play the Gaea here. I think the positives outweigh the negatives of this actually sticking and we hitting like the Mox Diamond. I feel like they're reading this right now. Wow, okay. I'm going to go with the Mox Diamond. Veil. Veil's pretty good. That's fine. I guess now they could have cast Oko there and then actually made one of these a creature. Land. All right, we'll go after it again. Nice. Karakas. Now I might actually just hold up Scooze for this turn. So play Scooze, hold up Abrupt Decay. But if I'm doing that, I probably want to do it with these two lands, not the Noble Hierarch. Because if they deal with the Noble Hierarch in like our end step and then untap, we don't have the mana for Abrupt Decay. So I'm going to tap like this. This also means we don't lose the Gaea to an Oko next turn. Chain that. I think in response, I'm pretty happy just to kill it. Because they drew a card off of this. Yeah, I think I'm okay trading the Abrupt Decay for the chain. That's a pretty dire move there. So if they're just trying to draw cards to maybe hit lands, then I'm pretty happy to hit this. They could have Veil, but wow. Alright. We'll take it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. Let's try to finish this off. That'd be really nice. It was because we are back. Okay, nice 3-0. Always a nice start as well because you know if the wheels do fall off, we still finish with some credibility and results and get some backup. Time to deliver a pizza ball. Classic. Ooh, coffee is a little bit cold. But that is fine. Playing against a good variety of decks tonight. So Merfolk, Snowco, and Gyruda. Always interesting. I'll write those down. Merfolk. Gyruda and Snow. I'm going to call it Snowco. We didn't really see too much of it. And Merfolk was blue-green, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I've been trying to make use of my my stream deck a little bit more. I have some some good ones. Like if we have a call, what we're gonna draw, and we draw it, I have a Dell, which is kind of cool. Also for a Questing Beast, which I didn't actually do when we went and got Questing Beast, so I definitely should have. That was a miss. Wow, Connor undefeated with 6 trophies. So Flying Whales is our Loma Boy, also known as Connor, which is his name. But he was the one that put me onto Gaea, which is very cool. Yeah, Chain and Diamond was really interesting. I wonder if both are kind of around Oko, because you can also chain your Uro with the ability on the stack to sack it. Kind of like Karakasing it. Hey, Bryant. Okay. We would like to play first. This is a nice hand. Like, we have pretty much everything we want to do. I don't think Gaea is enough of a hate piece. I'd probably rather play like a Thalia or a Green Suns for Collector Ouphe. Yeah, I was going to say, this hand doesn't really do enough. I don't think we're going to hit like a Mox Diamond, a Mox Opal or anything. They're probably just going to play those as they go off, so happy to mulligan this. This is better because we have the Green Suns, but the double swords is pretty rough. But we do have Thalia, so that is one piece. And if it gets taken, we have the Green Suns. We can even like go turn 2 Sylvan Library, turn 3 Green Suns for Collector Ouphe. I sadly don't think it gets any better. I'm going to play the Forest here and try to keep the Windswept Heath for as long as possible. Because if we play Sylvan Library the next turn off, say, like a basic Plains, or Thalia into Sylvan Library, and then we see like 3 Swords to Plowshares on top, I definitely don't want to pay life for them against Storm, so I probably want to shuffle them away. So having the fetch land in my hand for as long as possible is probably what I want. So I'm just going to go Forest Pass. This isn't really a deck where I have to keep open like Swords on my first turn, so hopefully this is okay. The old Forest Pass. Yeah, it was really interesting. I watched him when he was playing. This is Connor. Oof, pedal start's pretty rough. We're just gonna 6 here, to be fair. Yeah, Connor was playing Delver, and he said he didn't play Delver much. He like made a few errors, but he obviously played very well as well. And he just 5-0'd a league with Luris Rug Delver. I'm gonna say maybe it was black. But yeah, really good streamer. Really good at just talking through his lines. Great loan player. Great Magic player in general if he can pick up Delver and just 5-0, which is cool.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
He's doing the test thing. Yeah, I assume Echo here. Nice. Oh, what an awful hand. Well, at least we won't be able to play anything. We do get the Sylvan Library and the Green Suns back, which is kind of nice, but yeah, I assume we're dead. Oh, well, I still assume we're dead. I guess we can Wasteland here. That doesn't really accomplish anything though, because we want to be able to go Green Suns for... To be fair, we can Wasteland and then Green Suns for Collector Ouphe. Sorry. We can Wasteland and then Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, so that next turn we still have Collector Ouphe mana with Green Suns. I assume we're dead either way. This Witch Claw doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, we want Ouphe next turn for sure. And I think Wasteland's okay. At least to keep him off a mana. Yeah, another Echo is pretty good. Oh, rough hand as well, just really fair. But hopefully Brian takes us down this turn, and then we don't have to play it out. Okay, we're gonna untap. Interesting. Okay, well now I can actually search. For Collector Ouphe. Play a Wasteland and then just play Collector Ouphe. Is that good enough? Maybe that's okay. Do they run like Chain of Vapor in the main deck? He does have wishes. So I wonder if the play is just Knight off. Can't wish for an instant, yeah. So we're definitely going for Scrubland. And then I think because we want a Wasteland, we're just going to attack with the Collector Ouphe here. I don't want to cast anything beforehand, just in case they do have some sort of instant speed effect. I'd rather them take the 2 instead of us tapping out and they know that we can't replay this. Can also Ramunap next turn back Wasteland. Very cool to still be in the game. Obviously, Bryant got pretty unfortunate with those echoes, but at least we still have a plan, and we have a Wasteland going after this this Volk. So hopefully, things can change. Ride of Flame, okay. Burning Wish. 2 red. Oh, maybe Gut. Yeah, Grape Shot to kill the Collector Ouphe. See what the Ponder does. Not to shuffle. Rough. Well, we tried. We tried. Ad Nors? Yeah. Okay. There's that mana that you want. There's LED. I guess the second Wish Claw just does it. Rough. At least post-board we're not looking too bad. So I like taking out the swords. The Ramunap's probably a little bit too slow. I don't mind the deed. The defense, the silencers. The bog can switch with the blast zone. Veil's nice. Gaddock Teeg, I don't mind Plague Engineer because of empty. Surgical is fine. There's a lot of cards. Vraska's too slow. Questing Beast is probably too slow. So I definitely want the 3 Deafening Silences, that's correct. I want the Gaddock Teeg, yes. I want the Veils, yes. And I want the Bog. So these are probably the definites. I probably don't mind going down on some number of mana dorks. Surgical is really mediocre. Yeah, mums are only great because they can protect some of our creatures that we want to keep on the board, like Collector Ouphe, Thalia, or Gaddock Teeg. Maybe surgicals aren't where we want to be. I do like Deed, especially just for 0. This seems really good. I can see myself going down on a Hierarch and maybe just 1 Knight. As good as Knight is. Just because I am adding in a few 3-drops, I want to make sure that I have still a pretty clear CMC. Yeah, and I think this is fine. Okay. All right. A little bit slow, but I think this is okay. Have a lot of good hate pieces, and Tortu Teeg is pretty good. We then can follow it up with a Deed. It doesn't have Deafening Silences, which is like the big card, but I'm not sure if this is a hand that I am willing to just throw away. I mean, if I mulligan this and I find another 6 that doesn't have Deafening Silence, I don't think I have a reason to keep it. Although Teeg is a lot worse than before. I mean, like a Grape Shot kill is still viable. It also doesn't stop an Echo's turn, which is probably where I want to be. Yeah, maybe Teeg just isn't where I want to be. Especially if I'm then relying on just 2 3-drops. I'm going to mulligan this. I am going to keep this, and I'm going to bottom. It's probably the Scryb Ranger. The Screws at least can attack the graveyard. Yeah, it's fair as well. I mean, Sylvan Library is pretty slow. Deed, we currently don't have the black mana for it. Screws is just a pretty much vanilla 2-2 against this deck, so it's really just the Veil, but if our opponent goes for a Grape Shot win, an empty win, the Veil doesn't do a whole lot. But I've already said yes. Sort up the Scryb Ranger. But yeah, maybe there is a bit of 5, to be fair. And maybe Deafening Silence is just what we have to kind of mull to. Empty. Okay. Empty's not the worst. Did not mean to cycle that. I thought that the Ponder was cast, but obviously wasn't. It was discarded to the LED. Alright. I guess we can untap. And probably Sylvan Library, and then try to find a black source. Because the Screws doesn't do a whole lot if we can't draw into that. I feel like I'm Goblin Lackey with needing to find a black source off the top. Yeah. No. Classic. Alright, we also know Thalia is on top, which is... Oh, no, we don't, because we fetched. Okay. Oh, okay. We're at 5 as well. Put on top, put on top. I'll cast Screws and also Deafening Silence. Play a Forest. Oh. Alright. Now it's crazy. Now we're gonna win game 3 as well, which is pretty tough. I don't think this is a keep. The only reason I like it is that if Bryant goes for another early empty, we do have a turn 1 Noble, take a hit and go to 8, and then untap and play Plague Engineer. But I think the rest of the hand is just too mediocre that we have to mulligan this. This is a great hand, we just don't have lands, which is unfortunate. Yeah, mulligan this. Yeah. Keep. Ooze. I probably want to turn 1 bird, so I can definitely turn 2 Thalia. I also want to turn 1 bird, so maybe I can get something going. So it's going to be Mum. I could ditch Arbor as well, but if I don't draw into lands, I at least want to cast it as a land drop. But I probably don't see myself getting to a stage where it's going to be relevant, unfortunately. Jeez. Okay. I play the birds because it's a black source, so if we get echoed, we at least have a black source on the field. This just looks like an Adnors though, so... Ooh. I can tell Brian just wanting to push it once more, just like... Or they're just trying to figure out if they can win with this hand. They haven't played a land for turn, so they can writ or write. They can also echo off the LEDs. It's suspenseful. Just like a... Oh. Oh. Oh, is that it? Is the Wish Claw the tutor they needed? I mean, if it isn't, then there's definitely consideration that I should have gone Noble Hierarch first, to then Green Suns for another Exalted Creature, and just swing for 2. But it looks like we're going to see an... Okay. Hopefully a shuffle. Chose not to shuffle. Rough. I guess we did 6. Tough games. Good fun, but... I'm not too sure. I could have looked, but... Maybe? Because you can now writ, or you can write, and... Yeah, can't cast both here. So if we do get a turn and draw a land, I'm not sure if I want to go... It looks like this is going to go off. Okay. Maybe you can Wish Claw for like another... Petal? Is that a thing? Oh, Mox Opal, yeah. Is this just tendrils? Rough. But, you know, definitely one of the weaknesses of Maverick is some of the fast combo decks. Deafening Silence definitely helps, but you need to find it obviously pretty early, hopefully in opening. I know Julian's a massive fan of just playing the full 4 Deafening Silence, so I wouldn't mind changing to that. Yeah, maybe like Gaddock Teeg just isn't the combo piece that you want to have anymore, or at least against combo. Surgical on right? Interesting. One last game. Hopefully finish 4-1. It would be pretty nice. What haven't we played against? I guess we haven't played against like Eldrazi. Eldrazi would be pretty cool to play against. This is green, white, black. I definitely like the black splash, but green, white does put up a lot of 5-0 results, which usually come up in the Maverick monthlies on the greensunzenith.com. I think black's a little bit better. I think like Decay, Gaea, Vraska, Plague Engineer. The removal that you get is what you really want right now, which is nice. Yeah, I think that Plague Engineer is pretty good against things like Ice Fangs, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Young Pyromancer. Up against Jolo KZO. This hand is a bust. I guess the Canopy is a new card. It could be a land though. I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. Yeah. Mulligan this. Hello, Wasteland. All right. Put back 3. 1. 2, 3. At least the green suns can find everything else. Would be nice if it was Wasteland, but sadly don't think it will be. Snow-covered island. Vile. Oh, maybe that opening hand would have been great. Is this gonna be like... Oh, this could actually be like Esper Bears. I'm just gonna go for a Bayou here because then we have Abrupt Decay open. This is interesting. I think I'd rather just take care of the Vial here. I could also Collector Ouphe. That's interesting. It also builds out the board. Yeah. Definitely makes the best use of my mana as well. And allows me to keep the decay for a creature if need be. Doesn't play around like Spell Pierce or Force, but okay. Maybe they just have like a Fatal Push or something for the Collector Ouphe. At least if we get to untap and they try to kill the Collector Ouphe, we can just decay the Vial in response. Strix. Hopefully no like swords and then Vial, that'd be pretty rough. Even something like Charming Prince would be pretty good on the Strix because you get to draw the extra card. Yeah, recovering from the mulligan quite well. I think Sylvan Library is the big card that I want because then I can actually replace the cards that I've lost. Meddling Mage, okay. Wonder if they name Swords to Plowshares. I don't think you name Abrupt Decay. I think you have to name Swords, surely. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go for Scrubland so I can't be turned off. From black. This means I can cast Mum. I don't mind trying to get this this Blast Zone up to 2 right now. That seems pretty good. But I also want to hold up Abrupt Decay. The one nice thing about Meddling Mages is that we don't have to worry about Swords to Plowshares for now on Mum, which is pretty great. It does kill our Collector Ouphe, but if we can use this Decay on the Aether Vial, then I don't really mind. Vial to 3. To Fairy. Well, that makes me want to deal with the Vial now. Especially if that ticks it up to 3. And I can't do it I have to do it in response, so... That resolves. Interesting, just trying to buy a turn with a Mum. Okay. Two cards left. Scryb Ranger is interesting. I can only cast cards during my turn. So let's go Mum. Scryb. Scryb's pretty nice because with Exalted it kills the Teferi next turn. Now I probably want to take my opponent off some amount of mana. We can grow it for free with the Scryb, which is nice, but I just have to look at maybe not getting Wasteland myself off anything. I'm going to take them off black. Plague Engineer would be pretty rough. Now I can untap the Noble to return Bayou, which means if I want I can replay this Bayou and tick up the Blast Zone. I haven't played a land for turn. This is a deck that I've wanted to play for a while now. Esper Bears seems really fun to play. Yeah, Engineer's a big one. That's why I went after the black source. Brainstorm. Alright. But if I can take care of this Teferi, I'll be very happy. Even just not swords. Recruiter. Recruiter's okay. What does Recruiter find? Probably Plague. This is just Esper Bears. Yeah, I'm going to assume it finds Soul Herder. Okay, interesting. Tick up, that's fine. Tick this up. Can't use the swords because of the Meddling Mage. So let's kill Teferi. Yeah, Blast Zone a little bit awkward. I could try to turn this Bayou into a Nurturing Peatland and draw off it to try to find another land, but I don't think I'm in a world where I can. I guess I could have attacked with the Strix as well. That's actually incorrect not to attack with the Knight there. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, because I can't put counters on it and also grow it. Plague's pretty good. What do I want? I'm gonna see if I can dig for something. Doesn't do a whole lot. I can't even return. Yeah. I'm just locked. At least you know what we're playing against. And not too bad for a Molder 4, to be fair. Shifting Ceratops I like. Plague Engineer I like. Deed I like. Gaea I like. Thalia I don't like. Wasteland can probably be dropped down to 3. I don't mind dropping down just a Noble Hierarch as well, seeing that we can get blown out by Plague Engineer. Scooze is also interesting. I don't believe they use their graveyard in any way. I don't believe they have any way to get things back from the graveyard. It's mainly just ETB effects. See how this goes. The one reason I might want the extra Noble is that just a turn 2 Gaea is so good. I'm going to keep this. Turn 2 Library is really nice. And then we also have Deed and Abrupt Decay. This also means we can sword like a turn 1 Mum if that's a thing in their deck. File's okay. I'm not going to fetch because I kind of want to draw a land. Knight. Gonna go for Bayou and Scrubland. Strix is okay. I'm gonna pay for the knight and put this on top. It's gonna decay the vial now. If they have a 1-drop, we have the swords as well, which is nice. That's gonna be okay because we know we have the the questing beast on top. So if they bounce the Sylvan Library, it's not too bad here because then we can hopefully just alpha attack the them and kill the Teferi. But we know that, of course, the land. Hey, episode, welcome. I don't think Stoneforge is bad. I think it just needs to find a home that can house it. I guess Plague isn't the worst here. We can deal with the bird, which means they can't flicker it. And then we have an attacking creature that can kill a Teferi next turn if needed. Oh, they have forces? Okay, ouch. Recruit is fine. We still have a draw step to try to find a land for Questing Beast. See what happens here. If we don't draw a land, I think Deed Pass is probably just the best because they're still not able to tick down to bounce it, so we could hopefully just keep them from building out their board. It is a bit nippy as well, episode. Bloody cold. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they have a 2-mana way to deal with Pernicious Deed. Hopefully they don't have that Stifle Bird. I don't think they would have brought it in, but I think they can find that with Recruiter, which can target the Pernicious Deed. And the thing that sucks about Deed here is that they've drawn a card off Strix, they've drawn 2 off Recruiter, which makes up for the Charming Prince, and they've also drawn a card off the Teferi. Venser, interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna go there upkeep. Actually, I kind of have to do it now, so they can't bounce something that they want off the Venser. Oh, it doesn't kill Teferi? Oh, of course it doesn't. I'm an idiot. Yeah, Venser's going to be tough. Of course, because Deed's played in Nick Fit so much because it can allow them to play out walkers and then just destroy things like Veteran Explorer. Haha, classic. Yeah, engineers could be tight, but I think just because we didn't get a chance to really build out our hand, our opponent's just going to run away with this game with Teferi and Venser. Ooh, are we going to get a chance here to actually attack and kill the Teferi with Questing Beast because of Exalted? Is that a thing? Our opponent has 1 card and 2 mana up. Oh, they can bounce the Noble? Rough. Yeah. Just needed a few lands earlier on. Rough, but 3-2 isn't too bad. I definitely think that matchup isn't too bad if we can build out our mana a little bit earlier on. Because we do have things like Swords to Plowshares, Abrupt Decay, Vraska to deal with some of their creatures and Vials, but otherwise we just let them kind of play a little bit of Solitaire, which is tough. But yeah, good games. That deck seems really sweet. So I'll hopefully play it sometime on the stream. That would be really nice. So 3-2. But I think the deck did pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. I think the Teeg might be worse than Deafening Silence number 4. I think that's probably the big change that I'll make. Veil's also an interesting card that I'm not too sure if it's good enough. One of the big advantages of playing black is you can also get things like Thoughtseize, which I think are a little bit better with Lurrus out of the field. And maybe Thoughtseize is where I want to be against some of the combo decks. Even against something like Garuda. I think it can be okay. Mum seems really good. It's just a case of figuring out how much Plague Engineer is around, because if Mum isn't great, then it's going to be tough. The one reason I don't like dropping Mum is that against combo, it just leaves all our good creatures like Thalia, Collector Ouphe, Gaddock Teeg to die to things like Chain of Vapor, Abrupt Decay, Grapeshot. I still think Mum's okay, but if there's a build without it, then that's pretty cool. And if you're having success with it without it, that's really cool. But yeah, I think there's definitely a spot for Maverick right now in the meta, which is nice. Blast Zone was a little bit iffy today. Maybe that's a card that I want in the board. And maybe something like Bojuka Bog in the main deck is where I want to be, because it's an extra black source and it's also just really good graveyard hate main deck. But the ability for... with Bojuka Bog coming in tapped, that's a pretty big no-no. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think of anything, I kind of want an extra Sylvan Library effect. I don't want Tireless Tracker because I don't want to have another 3-drop in the deck. I kind of want to have another 2-drop draw effect, but I'm not too sure what that is. And to be fair, maybe it is just going back to Tracker and seeing how Tracker goes. Because Tracker is pretty sweet, especially with Vraska. With Tracker, it's whenever you sacrifice a clue, it gets a counter. So if you sacrifice the clue to Vraska to draw a card, you still get the counter on the Tireless Tracker, which is pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of the second Forest. I was a big fan of the second Plains, but playing black, I do like having the third black source as a jewel. But yeah, I think there's too many Delver decks that just waste you off the ability to play off your basics. But yeah, again, maybe the deck can just go down a little bit more greedy to just the Forest and the Plains. If I did that, I'd probably add another Birds of Paradise, or maybe a Gilded Goose. Gooses are pretty rough because in this deck I want to have mana every turn. I don't want to have a turn where I have to turn off and, you know, create a food just to untap. But all in all, I think it's a pretty solid shell. I think there's some Like probably these 4 are the big ones you can move around with. The Green Suns package is pretty tight. I think Questing Beast is really nice. And then probably also like Thalia number 4 could be okay, but yeah, with Plague Engineer being pretty dominant right now, it's pretty tough. But that is me. A huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. I will have this up on my YouTube channel hopefully by tonight. You can find me on YouTube /Dukes on Twitch. You can find me at Twitter /Dukes on Twitch. I will be back on Wednesday night. You're more than welcome for the stream. Yeah, probably playing the same deck. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully pretty fun. I'm going to see who else is playing some Legacy. Maybe we can send you over to some guys. Eternal Magic BR is playing, which is usually Legacy. They are playing Legacy. Very cool. I think they're playing Goblins as well, which is nice. Goblin Lucky is there. Maybe. No. Okay. Yeah, let's get you guys over. Eternal Magic BR, start raid. A huge thank you once again. If you want to know when I come online, you can of course follow the channel, which is free, and you will get a notification when I do go live. But yeah, stay safe, enjoy your weekends. I'll see you back in 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. All the best. See you guys around.